Dear student, welcome to this lecture. This is a lecture on textile testing. In this lecture, we will discuss water repellents. In earlier lecture, I have discussed the water absorbency and transmission of water, and here we discuss water repellents. See, basically both the things are important: water repellents as well as the water absorbency, because in some outdoor applications, we need the fabric which is impermeable to water. As for example, impermeable to rainwater. Such examples are rainwater, sportswear like trekking suit, and other industrial fabric like tarpaulin, tent cloth, etc. And based on the treatment, this water repellent fabric may be broadly classified under two categories. One is the waterproof fabric, and another one is the showerproof fabric. These two category fabrics are different from each other in respect of their manufacturing technique, their behavior, as well as their uses. So we will discuss the waterproof and showerproof fabric. So let us first start with waterproof fabric. A waterproof fabric is a type of coated fabric that prevents passage of water through it. What I mean to say here that in the case of the waterproof fabric, the water cannot pass through it. Okay, and this is achieved by applying coating of rubber, polyurethane, PVC, or wax. The gaps between the yarns are filled up by the coating, which prevents the passage of the air, the passage of the water, and this type of fabric has known uh, two major drawbacks. The first one, the fabric will be impermeable to water vapor and making it uncomfortable to wear when sweating. And secondly, because of the high shearing rigidity, it is very difficult to move the body. Okay, so what I mean to say, again I am telling, this waterproof fabric, this type of fabric is manufactured by means of coating fabric. That means first we prepare it to manufacture the fabric, thereafter we have to apply the coating of polyurethane, poly PVC, wax, and also rubber. And as a result of coating, the gap between the yarns are filled, and this prevent the passage of the water as well as the moisture vapor. And this type of fabric has two major drawbacks that I have told. That is, because of the gaps between the yarns are clogged with the finish, these are impermeable to water vapor, and as a result, as a result, this prevent the passage of the moisture vapor, and the fabric will be very uncomfortable. And secondly, there is a shear rigidity of the fabric is very high because the yarns are bound with each other, they cannot move against each other, and thus it causes difficulty in the movements of the body. And next is the showerproof fabric. In this kind of fabric, absorption of penetration of water is delayed, and this is achieved by treating them with hydrophobic compound like silicone derivatives. Earlier, I have discussed the silicone derivative. These silicone derivatives mainly used as a softener, and these silicone derivatives are hydrophobic compound. Okay, and because of the treatment with hydrophobic compound, the fabric will water repellent. Therefore, when a drop of water falls on the fabric, it will not spread. A showerproof fabric can be also be produced by correct choice of the yarn and fabric construction to give a very tight grip, which physically keeps the wear out. That means in the showerproof fabric, mostly this type of fabrics are manufactured by treating them with silicone. And silicone is hydrophobic, and since the fabric is coated with hydrophobic substance, when a drop of water falls onto the fabric surface, it will not spread. Unlike waterproof fabrics, showerproof fabrics are quite permeable to air and water vapor as the interior spaces are not clogged. In earlier case, waterproof fabric, where the fabric is treated with PVC or polyurethane coating, the yarns are completely clogged. As a result, it prevents the passage of the air or moisture vapor. But in the case of the showerproof fabric, the yarn spaces are not clogged. As a result, the showerproof fabrics are quite permeable to air and water vapor, and also handle of the fabric is largely unaffected. Okay. Next, water can penetrate this type of fabric in the following cases. If it strikes with sufficient force, as in the case of the heavy rain, in the case of the heavy rain, the water particles have sufficient kinetic energy, and because of this kinetic energy, when it strikes the fabric surface, it can penetrate. And also, if the fabric is flexed, then the gaps will open and the fabric will become a little bit open structure, and the water can penetrate through these gaps. So the major difference between the showerproof and the waterproof fabric is their manufacturing technique. In the case of the waterproof fabric, it is manufactured by applying the coating of PVC or polyethylene, but in the case of showerproof fabric, it is manufactured by applying and treating them with softener. In the case of waterproof fabric, it is completely impermeable to air and the moisture. As a result, the fabric is very much uncomfortable. But this is not the case with the showerproof fabric because of the fact that the yarn spaces are not clogged like waterproof fabric, and their passage allow moisture vapor as well as air permeability. And also the waterproof fabric are very difficult to move the body parts because of the high sharing rigidity and the bending rigidity. But this is not the case with the showerproof fabric. Now, how to measure the resistance to penetration and the absorption of water? Now, there are two different type of tests by means of which we can measure the resistance to penetration and absorption of water. The one is simulated drain test, another one is the penetration pressure test. Now, simulated drain test, again it is of two types. One is the spray test, another one is the Bundesmann drain test. And penetration pressure test, it is basically the hydrostatic pressure. Now, major difference between the simulated drain test and the penetration pressure test is that in the case of the simulated drain test, we just predict what is the penetration of the rainwater. But in the case of penetration pressure test, we measure whether the water molecules penetrate under pressure, and if it is so, at what pressure it can penetrate. Okay, so again I am telling there are two different categories of tests. One is simulated drain test, another one is a penetration pressure test. In case of simulated drain test, we measure the resistance of the fabric to wetting by water, and in case of the Bundesmann rain test, we measure what is the water absorption percentage and also the assess the degree of wetting of the fabric. But in the case of penetration pressure test, we measure the pressure under which water can penetrate. So this is the experimental setup for spray rating test. There is another simplified diagram that I will show in the subsequent slides. Here you try to understand what is the construction. This is the strand. This is the glass funnel. This is the holder by means of which the funnel is attached. This is the spray nozzle. This distance is 190 mm and this is the 150. Okay, and this is the specification of the spray nozzle. You can see there are 12 holes, and There are 12 holes, and here there are 6 holes, and here this is the central hole. The diameter of the holes are given here. It may not be possible for you to remember all these constructional details, but this is for your knowledge. Okay, I believe the construction of experimental setup is clear to you. Now, let us see the procedure for conducting the spray rating test. You have to cut 3 specimens, and each specimen will be of 1 square millimeter area. So this is the simplified diagram of the experimental setup of spray rating test. This is the nozzle. Details of this nozzle I have discussed in previous slide. And this is the 250 ml of distilled water. This is 150 millimeter. That means this nozzle is 150 millimeter above the specimen. The specimen is placed on an inclined plane, which is makes an angle 45 degree with the horizontal. Hold each specimen in turn under the taut condition over 150 millimeter diameter embroidery hook, which is mounted at 45 degree to the horizontal. As I have already told you, so this distance is 150 millimeter. This is the distance is 150 millimeter, and also the diameter of the embroidery hook on which the specimen will be mounted under taut condition. Next, the funnel, which is fitted with a standard nozzle, contains 19 holes. I have already discussed in details what are the different types of nozzles and what are their arrangement and what are the dimensions. And this funnel is filled with 250 ml of distilled water at 20 degrees centigrade. After the water spray has finished, remove the hook and specimen. Tap it against the solid object on the opposite point to overcome any large drops of the water. That means after 250 ml distilled water is poured onto the fabric surface, you have to remove the fabric, and the fabric is taken out from the hook and it is tapped against a solid object so as to remove the excess water. Okay, tap means striking the fabric against the solid body so that excess water is removed. Now you have to give the rating based on the subjective measurement and comparison with the photographic standards given by the American Association of Textile Chemists and the Colorists. If the fabric is completely weighted, then the rating will be 1. If the surface is weighted more than half the sprayed surface, the rating will be 2. Now, if sprayed surface only at small discrete areas, then the rating will be 3. Now, if there is no weighting, the rating will be, but there are certain water droplets adhere to the surface, then the rating will be 4, and it will be 5 if there is no weighting. That means what I mean to say is that after conducting the spray rating test, the fabric sample should be matched visually with the standard samples, standard photographs supplied by AHTCC, and we have to assign the rates from 1 to 5. If there is a complete weighting, we have to assign 1, and if there is no weighting, we will give 5 rate. And in between this, there is partial weighting, or you can say adherence of the small drops to the fabric surface. We have to add the rating between 1 to 5. Now the Bundesbank water repellency test. This test simulates the effect of rainstorm on the fabric in the laboratory. In this test, the fabric is subjected to a shower of water from a head fitted with a large number of standard nozzles. During the shower, the back of the fabric is rubbed by a special mechanism which is intended to simulate the flexing effect which takes place when the fabric is formed. So this is the experimental setup. This is the apparatus. This apparatus is connected with the water supply. This is the one sort of reservoir, and the nozzles are fitted onto this, and entire assembly is 1.5 meters above the surface, and there are the four cups, and these cups rotate 5 rpm. Only two cups are here visible because it is a two-dimensional, but there are other two cups, and onto these cups, the specimen is mounted here. Okay, so during the rotation of this shaft, one after other, the specimen comes under this water spray. Okay, so this is the test procedure. As I have already told you, this is the water supply. The equipment is connected to the main water supply. In the test, 4 samples are mounted over the cups. There are the 2 cups. There are other 2 cups on this side and the back side. So this is the sample. This is firmly attached with the cup. And behind this cup, there is a spring-loaded wipers. See, this is the spring-loaded wipers, and these wipers continuously move. This will simulate the condition that our body movement. That means to the best possible extent, we have to simulate the practical situation under Bundesmann water repellence test. Here, this is subjected for heavy shower for 10 minutes, and the water flow is at 20 degrees centigrade, and the pH of the water is adjusted between 6 to 8. And after carrying out this test, we can measure the 2 parameters. One is the penetration of water through the fabric, another is the absorption of water by the fabric. Now, penetration of water through the fabric, the water is collected in the cups, is measured to the nearest milliliter. That means what we have to do after the test is over, we have to take the sample out and measure what is the amount of water that is collected inside the cup. Okay, that means this much water is collected onto the cup after the water has penetrated to the fabric surface. Next is the absorption of water by the fabric. In order to do this, the specimen is weighed before the test, and again it is tested after. Again it is weighed after carrying out the test, and then we have to measure what is the difference in weight. So that means mass of water absorbed divided by original mass. Mass of water absorbed will be equal to the mass of fabric after test minus the initial mass of the specimen. So divided by original mass, it will give the absorption percentage. Now next is the penetration pressure test or hydrostatic pressure test. Earlier two tests, spray rating test and Bundesmann water testing, the water simply falls onto the fabric surface and there is no such pressure. But here we have to measure the pressure under which the water will penetrate. This means this test measures the resistance of the fabric to penetration of the water under certain hydrostatic pressure. It is applicable to all types of fabrics, including those treated with the water resistance or water repellent. That means what we have to measure here, we have to measure the pressure under which the water will penetrate. Actually, this is the experimental setup. This is the pressure gauge by means of which we can measure the pressure. These are the two clamps. The sample is attached in this clamp. Now, initially, the sample is under horizontal condition. But when because of the flow of water through this, water pressure will build up in this chamber. As a result, the sample will be subjected to under pressure, and because of this pressure, water particles will try to penetrate this sample and appear on the other side. The specimen is subjected to a steadily increasing pressure of water on one face under standard condition until the penetration occurs in three phases. What I mean to say here is that after water molecules penetrate the sample, it will appear on the opposite side of the fabric. See, this is the fabric. You can set this condition, and because of this pressure, water will penetrate through the sample, and the pressure at which the water penetrates the fabric at three different places. So 1, 2, and 3. So you have to measure the pressure head under which water particles will be present on the opposite surface at three different places. And this pressure will give the degree of resistance to penetration of water under pressure. So let us go through the experimental procedure. The 5 fabric specimen will be taken, and each of having area 100 square centimeter, and these fabric samples are clamped between the rubber gasket over the water filled chamber, and the pressure is applied to the water forcing up against the fabric so that there is no leakage. The water in contact with the test specimen should be distilled water or the fully deionized and should be maintained under the pressure 20 plus minus 2 degrees centigrade or 27 plus minus 2 degrees centigrade. This is for the tropical countries like India, and this is for the other countries. The fabric is subjected to steadily increasing the water pressure from below or from the above. In the last experimental setup, I have shown the water pressure is built up from below the fabric surface. The rate of increase of the water pressure shall be 60 plus minus 3 centimeter water column per minute. The manometer is connected to the testing heads and should be allowed pressure to read to an accuracy of 0.5 centimeter water column. The pressure is allowed to increase, still water appears at the 3 separate places that I have already discussed, that we have to measure that particular pressure so that the water will appear at 3 separate places on the surface of the specimen. The pressure being taken at the appearance of the third drop, the mean pressure calculated from the result of the 5 specimen. So this is the apparatus for the water equivalency test for hydrostatic pressure test, and here the fabric sample will be mounted, and we have to measure the pressure under which the water particles appears at 3 different places on the surface of the specimen. So this is all about the water equivalency testing. Again, I am summarizing. In some fabric, we need water repellent characteristics, especially in the raincoat or paint or tarpaulin fabrics. And there are 2 categories. One is the shower proof, another one is the waterproof. These 2 categories are completely different from each other as far as their treatment is concerned. In the waterproof fabric, it is manufactured by applying coating of polyvinyl chloride or polyurethane, or in the case of showerproof fabric, we apply softener. And there are 2 different types of test method. One is simulated drain tester, and another one is the hydrostatic pressure test. Simulated drain tester, it is basically we measure the appearance of the fabric after it is exposed to rain or after it is exposed to spray water, whereas in the case of hydrostatic pressure, we determine the water pressure under which the water spot appears at 3 different places on the surface of the fabric. The measurement of the pressure and expressed in terms of water column will give the hydrostatic pressure. So this is all about your water equivalency test.